Hello Year 3 and welcome back to your second reading session this week. So in our first lesson, we looked back at what derrick means and we focused particularly on the explain part. Today, we are focusing on retrieval. Can you remember what this means? Okay, good. So if you said that we're finding information, you would be correct. So well done. Like always, we are starting our lesson with a picture. So our picture today is of a man and a pair of very tall legs waiting on a pavement, perhaps waiting to cross the road. And our first question is explain. So what does curious means? So if you don't know, pause the video now and see if you can find the answer. If you do, write your answer down on a piece of paper. So if you are curious, you really want to know something. So this means, this man who is looking quite curious might be wondering where this tall creature has come from. Okay, so our next question is, where does the creature work? This is a retrieval question because we need to use our detective skills to see if we can find any clues that tell us. I can see that on his briefcase, he has the logo, NASA. Did you spot that too? This suggests to me that he works for an aeronautical company, so maybe he builds aircrafts. Our next question is an interpret question. Who or what do the legs belong to? Pause the video and have a little think. I can see that the creature has very large feet and long pointy claws. So I think that the legs must belong to a monster or a yeti. Our final question is, why did the illustrator choose to have a creature working where he did? This is our choice question. Now, I'm not going to give you the answer for this one. I want you to have a think and try and form your response using this sentence. I think the illustrator chose to have the creature working at NASA because, and write your answer. Okay, well done. So we're going to continue with our text, The Three Little Pigs. I'm going to read it through again and then we will answer some retrieval questions. A quiet buzz settled over the vast courtroom. The members of the jury were settled back into their seats after a long break, and the public galleries were a bustling hive of activity. On the stand, the accused was sworn in, and the prosecuting attorney took to her feet. She was wearing an expensive suit and wore a pained expression. She was also a fox. This wasn't too unusual. The accused was a pig, and the judge was a badger. When the fox spoke, it was with a soft, friendly voice that didn't match her face. To be clear, Mr. Ham, you have pleaded innocent to the murder of Mr. Wolf. The pig nodded, but said nothing. I am here today to prove to you that Mr. Pig is lying. This was directed at the jurors. First, can you describe your arrest? Mr. Ham coughed and said, It was about 6 in the morning. I was just eating my breakfast. The officers barged into my house without so much as a by your leave, and the next thing I know, I'm being dragged into the back of a cop car. Indeed. And why did they arrest you? They said I killed Mr. Wolf. I didn't, though. Mr. Ham paused for a split second. Well, I suppose I did kill him, but it was self-defense, I promise. At the pig's confession, the court erupted. Photographers snapped away and journalists scribbled their notes. The judge banged his gavel and called for order. When everybody had been settled back down, he waved the fox to continue. So you admit to killing him? Maybe you'd better tell us what had led to such a violent attack, said the fox with a wry smile. He'd been trying to blow down my house. He'd stand there day and night, huffing and puffing. I feared for my life. He'd done it before as well. My 2 brothers had their houses blown down by him. They had to come and live with me. Luckily, my house is made of bricks. You say that your brothers had their houses blown down. Did you see it for yourself? No, the pig said nervously. They told me. Well, our doctors tell us that Mr. Wolf suffered from chronic asthma. There is no way he could blow out a candle, let alone a house. The pig tried to speak, but no words came out. The lawyer continued. In fact, your brothers both recently claimed substantial insurance payouts for their destroyed houses. We believe that Mr. Wolf was simply suffering from an asthma attack and stumbled down your chimney. At which point you boiled him alive. What do you have to say for yourself? The fox finished with a flourish. Humbled, Mr. Ham looked at his trotters. A quiet hum rose again in the crowd as the judge ordered the jury out to make their decision. When they finally returned a couple of hours later, the foreman, a squirrel, stood and proceeded to speak. Your Honour, the members of the jury find Mr. Ham. So, your first question is, what condition did the wolf suffer from? Hopefully you remember that with retrieval questions, you don't have to do much thinking as the answer is already there for you. So in the text, I am looking for a word similar to suffer. And I can see here it says suffering, which is very close to the word suffer. And next to the word suffering, it has the words from an asthma attack. So we know that Mr. Wolf suffered from an asthma attack and stumbled down the chimney. The next question is, how did the fox speak? Again, look for words similar to the ones in our questions. I can see the word spoke, which follows on from the word fox, so I can see I have found my answer. The fox spoke with a soft, friendly voice that didn't match her face. Now, your task today, you're going to pause the video and answer these 4 questions in your books or on a piece of paper. When you unpause, we can go through the answers. Make sure you use the text that is on the plan for Monday. Okay, welcome back. So, question 1. What was Mr. Ham doing when the arrest happens? So I remember that this question was on my first slide. Okay, so it says down here, I was just eating my breakfast. Did you get that one? Well done if you did. Okay, question number 2. Why was the 3rd pig lucky? Your answer should have been, the 3rd pig was lucky because his house was made of bricks. Question 3. What was the wolf trying to prove? The wolf was trying to prove that the pig was guilty. And if you want, you could have used the quote. So I am here today to prove to you that this pig is lying. And finally, question 4. How did the fox finish? Now this one was quite tricky, but again, I'm using clues from the question. I'm searching for words similar to finish. And I can see on my last slide, which says the fox finished with a flourish. Brilliant. Well done, Year 3. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time.